Hello everybody, it's Drew Hunthausen. Welcome back to another episode of A Day in the Life of a Blind Guy. Today I am going to demonstrate how I read, how I get my communication through my fingers. It's called Braille. So I'm going to come over right here and show you this big metal thing right here is called a Brailler. It's how I type, and the dots are formed on the paper right here. What I'm gonna do is type out the alphabet with a couple spaces in between each letter, and then I'll take it out afterwards and show you, because you probably can't see it very well here. But on this Brailler, there's 6 keys. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in terms of the dots. So those actually, I'll take that back. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got it backwards. And that corresponds to the dots. And Braille is made up of 6 dots. And depending where the placement of the dots and how many dots there are, tells what letter it is, or what symbol, or what contraction, and that how it's made up. And it's a lot of memorization, because not only do you have the letters, but you also have all the symbols, commas, punctuation, and then you have 196 contractions, which are combinations of the dots that, for example, like ER, EA, BLE, those are all one symbol. You just have to memorize what dots those are. And then also each letter of the alphabet stands for a word. For example, A just is A, but B stands for but, C stands for can, and D stands for do, and so on. So right now I'm just going to type each letter of the alphabet, and then I'll take it out and I'll show you. So A, that's dot 1. B is dot 1 and 2. C is dot 1 and 4. D is dot 1, 4, and 5. E is dot 1 and 5. And then that beep that you heard was what the Brailler sounds to let me know that I'm coming close to the end of a line. And just like a manual typewriter, I'm at the end of a line, so I'll space down a couple just to make it easier when I take it out for you to see. So my last letter here was E. So F stands for fox, G stands for go, H stands for have, I just is I, you might have guessed. And then I'm going to go to the next line, and J stands for just, K, it's kind of a weird one, stands for knowledge. L stands for like. M stands for more. N stands for not. Go down again. O stands for O. You don't see it used that way anymore, like a capital O. And then P stands for people. Q stands for quite. R stands for rather. S stands for so. And go down again. T stands for that. U stands for us. V stands for very. W stands for will. X, there's not many words to start with X, so X actually stands for it. If you see X by itself. And then Y stands for you. And then the last one is Z, stands for zebra. I'm going to take it out right now and then show you more closely each letter. So A, way up at the top here. Okay, so A, you can see is just that one dot. And then next to it, B, and I made spaces so you can probably just see all the way down the letters, and each one of them stands for a word by itself. So that's all the memorization. Okay, I'm gonna put that sheet down now, side of me, and then I'm gonna show you a couple books that I used in school for math. The first one right here is Algebra Book, and I'm gonna show you right here at the top of it. I'm just gonna, these are fractions. It's called Fraction Book. That's what it says at the top. And then here, this is number 1, and then with the period. And I'm just gonna explain real quick for math, because there's only 6 dots in Braille, the Memeth code is what Math Braille is called. And it's a whole different code because you don't have enough dots to make the math symbols look totally different. So when you're doing math, you have to know you're reading math. There's an actual symbol that introduces what's coming up as math. And then you know whatever's coming next is going to be math instead of literary. For example, this sign right here, I don't know, is a TH sign in literary Braille, but in math, it's an opening fraction sign. So that's what you see when a fraction is opening. And then like this fraction right here is 1/4 plus 1/4 equals, and then there's a blank over 2, which is equals 1/2, and that's when it's reduced. So again, Braille is a lot of memorization, because not only do you have to memorize what they stand for in literary reading, but also in math, you just have to transfer over that it means something different when you're doing math. So I'm not a huge fan of math. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I like math, but it was just one of those things that wasn't my favorite in school because it was definitely a little more difficult. And I'm actually going to show you real quick. I have right here math graph, and this is you can see it's raised lines, but it just looks like a normal graph you would use in geometry or to to plot points. And that's what I used when I was doing math, and it's actually pretty cool because I don't have it here, but what I would do is I would often put this graph on like a cork board, and then I could use pins, like push pins, to plot the points, and then I could take them in and out depending what problems I was doing in my math book, and plot different points and make marks and then write the answers on my Braille sheet. worked pretty well. It wasn't easy, I wouldn't say that, but it definitely worked well. Alright, I'm going to show you something else now. Another math thing, which I'm not going to describe it, but this is some kind of trigonometry graph. You can figure it out for yourself, because I just don't have the patience or the knowledge to explain it myself. Have fun. Okay. Well, so that's math. Next, I'm going to show you something which made me kind of exasperated. That's a word that I like. When I would look at these kind of books. Here, let me move that back. Okay, this book right here is a science book, and these are all diagrams. So this diagram is leaf shapes. So you can look at it for a minute, see if you can figure out the leaf shapes there. But there's 4 leaf shapes here. I'm not going to have you look at, I'm not going to go through all of them, but one of the leaf shape right here, and I had my sister look at it, and she said, oh yeah, that's definitely a maple leaf. Well, I had no clue what it was, because there's just all these crazy lines going everywhere. I don't know what's the leaf and what's just lines, but it does have a Braille marking under here, and it says that leaf is actually a leaf from a sycamore tree. So that just shows that even if you're looking at it with eyes that can see, it's not too apparent what it is. And this next page here, go up to the top, is different kinds of worms. This first one is a flatworm. Just only reason I know that because there's a label here. But if there wasn't that label here, I could say this is like a model of a missile, or I have no clue what that is. But definitely, even if I knew it was a worm, I wouldn't have guessed a flatworm. We come down here to this beautiful worm down here. This is a tapeworm. I'm sure you've probably figured that out right away. I sure didn't. Okay, I'll show you one more fascinating page here. This is parts of a seed. So we go down here, and this shows the plant and the seed, the embryo of the seed, and all the different parts. But I'm just reading here and tell you what it's supposed to be, because I truly have no clue what this stuff is. But this is the seed and the different parts of a seed: the seed embryo, the inner part of the seed, the core, the shell. Looks pretty magnificent, I have to say myself, but just what it is. All right, that's enough with science. Well, that's my Braille overview for all of you. That's how I got through school, using the Brailler for math. Part of school, at least. The literary part was a little bit easier, still difficult, but that's how I used that ancient Brailler. It's still widely used today for different things, even with all the technology that's out. It's pretty cool. Now you have a brief overview. I hope you learned something from all of that, because it's not something, at least before I lost my sight at age 11, I had seen Braille. You see Braille by the bathrooms to let blind people know which is the men's and which is the women's. But other than that, you don't really see Braille all that much to know what it is. So that's my famous overview. So next week, You'll have to wait and see. It's to be continued. What I'm gonna show you guys how a blind guy lives and how a blind guy does that. But until next time, my friends, I would love to hear from all of you and what you would like to see next in a day in the life of a blind guy. And also, please check out my free guide, The 5 Keys to Living a No Excuses Life, filled with joy, peace, and prosperity. You can get it from drewsinspirations.com. And would love to hear from you again. As I said, all of you, send me a message. Send something right here on Facebook as you're watching. Until next time, the best is yet to come.